All right, so today we are working on go ahead and hemming some edges. So I've already wet finished these, and as you can see, before I wet finished it, I went ahead and I just did a quick zigzag stitch here, which secured it into place. Now we have a couple options before we cut it. We can do another zigzag stitch on either side before we cut it, and I find that helps me get neater edges when I do sew it, but some people don't. It won't fall apart if you don't. So that it really is optional, but I find it just helps me keep slightly neater edges. So I go ahead and do it in most cases. Unless I only have like a couple towels, then I won't. But since I have about 4 here, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick zigzag stitch. I'll line it up where I want it, and I'll do it on either side to keep a very neat edge. Make sure the hook comes all the way up before cutting off. And then I will do the same thing just over a little bit further so that I just cut between these two lines when I trim it up. And that will help me keep it pretty neat when I am sewing it later. All right, so I went ahead and secured it with a stitch. You don't have to do that. I find it helps me keep cleaner edges, but it it's fine either way. So now I just need to go ahead and cut these in half. I usually just use a pickup stick to help me keep a straight line as I'm pushing down. I'm going to cut between these two stitches. Move this. And once I cut all of these apart, I will actually, see, iron them right afterwards. And that's where I'm going to create the creases. Might need to change my cutter because it is not wanting to cut. There we go. So I'm going to just keep cutting them apart. And at that point, they're secure. You're fine. Throw them, move them, do whatever you want. They're not going to fall apart. That's why I like to do that, because it makes it easier on me. But it really just comes down to preference at that point of whether or not you want to do that extra stitch. Some people think it's a waste of time. I think it takes 3 minutes and it makes my life easier. Especially if for some reason I need to walk away and I don't actually get to finish hemming these right away. I don't have to worry about, them getting knocked over and then falling apart because I didn't finish. Ooh, that was loose. Because I didn't finish sewing them and hemming them. When I do this, I can just do that. They get knocked over. It's fine. I'm not losing my weaving over it. So after this, the reason you iron them is because, as you can see, they're kind of bunched up and uneven. And if I try to hem them like this, I'm going to wind up with a very uneven hem. And it will be very crooked and not very attractive. Here we go. All right, so the iron's been heating up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and start trying to flatten this out a little bit. All right, we go ahead and get that nice and flat. Now we just need to start securing our edges. So let me actually start over here. Now I'm actually just kind of folding this corner at an angle. I'll do it where you can see it on the other side in just a second. And then I'm pressing it down flat. And this just helps me keep my edges a little bit neater when I tuck these in, kind of make a little triangle. Then I'm just going to fold. Little fold. And do it on either end. And as I do, kind of just roll it and slowly glide the iron over, press it down. Now, do another quick fold. And you'll see as you're doing this, the little triangles on either end will kind of roll in, creating a very nice even tuck. When you do that second roll, which makes it look more like a store-bought hand towel, the way it tucks in. So let me go ahead and pick that up. Now I'm just going to use some pins to secure it where I want that to stay. Now I like to use pins with big heads because then I can see them a little bit easier when I'm sewing and kind of just pluck them out, which is great. All right, so now I'm just going to do that on this other end also, where I fold that in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting this sewn up. I'm going to remove that first pin. I'm going to slide this into place. Now, sometimes with the thicker warps, it has a hard time getting into place, so I really have to push it and then do a little bit, go back, and then, get it in line, make sure it's good, and then kind of put the walking foot down afterwards. So I keep that zigzag very close to the edge so that when later it's done, you don't have a huge edge that's popping up. So I can remove that last pin. that up and show you our finished edge. So now, when you look, we have our nice finished edge. It doesn't really roll up very much, if at all. It's a very flat hem. Got a little bit of lift there, but not much. And after that, we can just trim it up and wash it, and it's done.